Why is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
So the other thing I wanted to talk to you when we were saying notable people in history,
Oh,
when we were so
yes.
rudely interrupted.
Yes.
Uh, Princess Pauline von Metternich, do you know her?
No.
Countess Anastasia Kielmansing.
Maybe if you could pronounce it, I'd know who
Sure.
she
Okay.
was.
Summer of 1892. Where were you? Do you remember? Never mind. So
Hanging out with Oscar
these
Wilde.
right. These two the aristocracy, because nobody loves a good fight with the aristocracy. So they apparently got into a fight over a flower arrangement.
Oh, dear Lord.
They challenged each other to a duel.
Okay. I love these ladies.
Complete with seconds and a medic.
Okay.
The medic was a baroness from Warsaw who had a degree, and she recommended to the women that they fight topless because if you had been stabbed with the sword and some of the fabric got put into the wound, the chance of infection
Yes.
was great. So they stripped down. There are paintings of this, which is amazing.
Amazing.
There are photographs reenacting this.
Wait, what?
Yes. And so they had their topless sword fight, which frankly, someone get you porn on the horn about
Right?
this.
How
So they
is
believed the
that?
agreement. It was a flower arrangement for the Vienna Musical Theatrical Exhibition, and this is where they got. So the topless was not. It wasn't like Thursdays and they got drinks for free. This was like a medical thing.
Topless girls drink for free.
Right, exactly. So
It is true. They do.
they both got cut on the hand or arm. The second stood in and basically were like, "Can't we all just get along?" And they ended up making up. They so yeah, it was written about in the paper. The Pall Mall Gazette in London said no small sensation has been made by the report of a duel between two ladies of the high Austrian nobility. They had a fearful quarrel over some arrangements at the exhibition. So the disagreement was so great they thought it could only be settled by blood. A different princess and the countess, the two seconds, advised that they embrace, kiss, and make friends, which
Wow.
accordingly they did. So I feel like that's a good message for this year, this season, as we look ahead to the new year. If you are perhaps at this moment taking your shirt off to try to fight somebody over some flowers, let the gardenia slide.
Yeah.
I think is the message, right?
Hug it out.
Yeah.
We can't really hug it out this year.
No.
Still.
Like wave it out, I guess.
I don't know.
Can you do that? It's not the same, but
No, it's not the same.
but you don't want to
But
put your
still.
duel off, and it's sort of like it'd be weird if you're like, as soon as I get this vaccine, I'm going to come back and kill you. Like that's not.
It probably wouldn't go over well.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
But I want this painting of this duel for our offices. Like, can't we?
Oh my! You in the office?
I want to hang
yes,
it next to our.
I
It's
would
perfect.
love just
like with a placard of the story.
right. No, I just for some reason am picturing pharmaceutical reps sitting in the waiting room being like, "Oh, what's this? Oh my God." I don't know why we have pharmaceutical reps coming by the office.
But too much time with cherry vanilla. I don't know. Like we've got dealers now.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what we as a show and we as a culture can take away from this.
I don't know, but those ladies are awesome. Like I have always wanted there to be a like I don't know, there needs to be a better depiction. I know they've been depicted in film, but there needs to be a better depiction of those two lady pirates, not to be confused with the lady astronauts.
Right. Okay.
Mary
Sure.
Reid and, and 'Cause their story is fantastic. But I feel like these
Exactly.
ladies need a good telling of their tale as well.
Right. I mean, I feel like even, Mary Shelley, the most goth person ever,
Ever.
she needs a little more acknowledgement of her achievements, and
Uh,
not just the things that made her the most goth person ever.
right, right.
Um, yeah, it was somebody was posting something, I believe, where it was about sort of, I believe it was one of these photos and saying like, "Was this actually a thing, topless sword fighting?" And somebody said, "Well, why, yes, it is."
Should be.
So I don't know if this is a new segment of the show where we just single out women in history and congratulate them on whatever their achievements were.
I mean, that's it's
Um,
a good thing to do.
yeah, I think so.
Topless women in history? I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna, I don't know. That's gonna kind of, let me put it this way: Eleanor Roosevelt is right off the list if that's what we're going for, you
I
know.
know.
So
It's
I feel like some of them should be clothed. How does one get into the erotic baking industry? Do you start off with sort of rude cookies and then risque biscotti, and then you go to the whole cake?
Well, I like both of those ideas. I might have to steal that. Those are both very good if you're looking for a part-time job. No, my story. I get to ask this a lot about how I came up with this idea. Um, just yeah, just a slut with a good sense of humor, you could say. But no, I used to. I was a bartender many years ago. Actually, it's been almost 39 years. And my sister lived in New York, and I used to visit her on the weekends, and she took me to the Erotic Baker, long since gone. And they made some bread, things like that, and they had a boob, a butt, and a penis. And at that time, she worked, I think, on Wall Street, one of the big companies, and she was getting a penis cake for a coworker. And she was the second one she was ordering. So she told me it was expensive and it tasted like crap. So I said, "Well, why would you get another one?" And she said, "Well, it's a penis." And I thought, ding, this is crazy. Boston has so many gays, so many students. I could make a business out of this. But I took it. I'm kind of like the Uber and Lyft of taxi cabs. So I took it several steps further. I wanted them to taste good, and I wanted a lot out of it. So I opened the business not having baked a cookie at home, not knowing much. My father was in the restaurant business, so I had some kind of help, as far as buying equipment and supplies, but I really went in blind with just a really good idea. And I learned a lot along the way. I had no intentions of actually working in the store. I thought I would hire someone to just go in and take oodles of money out every day. So that didn't quite work out. So I've been working
I
it
get
for 38 years, and it's been a hoot. It's a lot of fun. I always said when it's not fun, I won't do it anymore, but it's never stopped being fun.
How has your offerings progressed over the years? Did you start off
Okay.
with cakes? Did you
That's a very, very good question, actually. I did. I started off with cakes, and it's thinking back on it, it's crazy because I had, now don't forget, this is almost 40 years ago. I was just a child. Keep that in mind, too. I know
right,
you can't see me, but I've had a lot of work done. So, anyway, so I started out with like, I would hand people photographs of cakes. You could look through, 10 pictures, and thinking back, now we have books. There's so many offerings, there's hundreds to choose from. But then, we make all the chocolate. We had hundreds of different chocolates, and we weeded out. We had non we had we did it we specialize in the adult, but we had some non-adult stuff. And we weeded that out over the years because why we had a specialty we were good at. The only place in New England people knew to come to us for that. We still do some non-adult, but we're mostly known for the adult, and that's what we specialize in. And I say stay in your lane. Most bakeries won't touch any adult, and that's good for us. But we did start out there, and then eventually, we had cakes, chocolates, and eventually people started to say, we had a lot of women whisper to us, do you sell any vibrators, any toys? And that was another thing. We'd keep them hidden. We'd have signs up, ask us about this, ask us about that. And then I thought, why aren't we just putting these out? And then it was huge. We became sort of known, as a safe place. The stores, I say stores because I've had 4 locations, are very purple and pink and very, there's no black lights. So the stores were fun and welcoming, and we're sort of a sarcastic kind of place. Like we make fun of everybody. We're an equal opportunity insulter. So if you don't have a sense of humor, it's not the place for you. So we're early on. We learned that very early.
Well, that's so smart. I mean, that's the easiest way to disarm someone and have them feel comfortable is just turn it into humor. So that had to be a great business strategy.
We had actually, I'm Jewish, and I had an anti-Semitic review on Yelp. So, somebody, it's crazy. People are, you're always going to offend someone. People say this offends women. Well, mostly women make the stuff, women sell the stuff, a woman owns the store. So I'm offending just as many women as I am men. And, I don't look at it as offensive. I look at it as funny. If you can't laugh at yourself, I'm selling penises, boobs, butts, vaginas, chocolates. This isn't real stuff, but, it's not for everyone. So, but it's for most.
Just to scroll through your website alone, the names of some of these cakes are unbelievable.
We had fun with that. The fact that it was 40 years ago is interesting too, because this is CVS barely sold condoms. This was before anything of this offering. So there was good and bad. The good was, of course, that this was such a crazy thing that I got a lot of free publicity. There were, people did articles on it, and I had a lot of interviews. So it was free publicity because of the shock value. The bad part was, if I did want to advertise, they put me in the back of a magazine with a 900 number. And I was saying, no, this isn't that. This is fun. This isn't dirty. So I had a lot of, it was an uphill battle to fight this is a bakery. This is funny stuff. This is humor. So, and then along came condom stores. And also back then, you could take this to your office. If someone in your office was having a party, like my sister did on Wall Street, but then PC police took over. You can't take this to work, or HR has something to say about it. So that's the thing about 40 years ago. But as far as the names go, we've had customers come up with things, and I've been very fortunate to have a very young staff over the years. It's a college town. So I hire on not so much experience as more attitude. If you're a smiley, fun person and creative, there's a lot of art schools. I'm open to suggestions. So we've had a lot of fun with the names. Yeah.
It's nice, I'm sure, for parents to see that their money not only is just going to the good folks at Emerson College, but also to, adult wordplay. That's got to be exciting.
That's right. Well, a lot of the girls changed the name when they told their parents they got a job. They did the sweet and tasty thing.
There you go.
Can sound just as dirty, by the way.
You're right. I guess. Yeah.
So what does taste best? Is it a penis, a boob, a butt? What body part tastes the best?
Oh, that's funny. I guess, that would be up to the purchaser, I guess. It's funny because as far as the taste goes, one of my things was, this is funny stuff, and you bring it to the party and everyone laughs. And then you have to, I tell people, cut it and eat it, because we've had a lot of recognition for the taste. That was important to me. I mean, we keep it simple. We're not doing like upside down pineapple, whatever. It's basic flavors, basic, buttercream frosting, but I want it to be delicious and I want the I'm a big sweets girl. So I want the chocolates, I want the cake, I want it to be delicious. So, and the only thing we're really, the new thing is gluten-free, vegan, everything free. And who knew that gluten tasted so damn good? Because I have not gotten, I just can't.
It really does.
I'm not on board. I'm not on board. This is, and the other thing, I've been through, no trans fat. I had to take all the trans fat. This is cake. You're not supposed to eat it every day. It's a treat. It's a birthday. It's an anniversary. It's a boob job. It's something, we're celebrating, but you're not supposed to eat it every day. Yeah, that's the other thing. People come to me, most bakeries, it's a birthday and anniversary. We're big on, bachelorettes rule the world. That changed when the bachelorettes decided that they were going to make it a thing. That became, they have committees formed. I'm in charge of decorations, and and the industry reacted with penis straws and hats and veils and crowns and everything imaginable. I have a Pecca Pinata that sells out constantly.
So what's some of the most popular designs on the cakes? Is there sort of a standard go-to that everybody, like a moth to a flame, is drawn to?
Well, it's funny. It changes a little bit over the years. For a long time, it was like a standing penis, make a wish and blow. Everyone loved that. They loved that saying. They loved, how do you go wrong there?
Everyone.
Yeah. And then
You can't.
penis,
Nope.
yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, penis into a champagne glass. The best is yet to come. People seem to like. I don't know if it's 2020. The best is yet to
Classy.
come. Yeah, it is a new one. Not new, but that seems to be more popular. The boobs cake, breast wishes on your birthday, have a titillating birthday, bon appetit. That's very popular. The butt's pretty good too. We now do a lace G-string on a big butt, and we're behind you all the way. Hope your birthday's not a bummer. I like those, but for bachelorettes, I like may your genitalia never fail you, or marriage comes with ups and downs. Good luck picking it up. A hard man is good to find. Glad you found one. But sometimes we have like a lot of boob jobs. Some are breast cancer, some are breast augmentations, but women tend to celebrate their breasts in a way that it surprised me. But thanks for the mammaries. So there's a lot of that going on. Nobody does any kind of boob job without some kind of celebration. And now there's a new thing, this gender reveal. Have you heard about this thing?
Oh, yeah.
So apparently somebody finds if it's a boy or a girl. So of course we're involved in that too. Penis or vagina, right. I guess. Yeah. But that's something we always, when we take an order, we say, what did you have in mind? Sometimes that's a good question. Sometimes not so much.
Niki, I got to tell you, having grown up in the Boston area, one, to hear your accent fills me with such delight. And two, makes me so want to hear your side of a phone call when someone calls and says, I want this thing with a water ski and all this stuff. And you're like, no, here's what you're getting. A or B. Yeah. End of conversation.
That's funny. It is a hoot. It is a hoot. People that have been lucky enough to overhear it laugh because it's funny because when you think about the kind of questions, I have to know, is he gay or straight? Caucasian, tan, or brown? And people like chest hair, bald,
Yep.
I need information if I'm going to do this cake for you. And we know to give them a certain amount of time to laugh and giggle, and God help us if we're on speakerphone.
When people are giving you the details on what they want on their cake and such, are they also giving you sizes, and do you round up?
Well, that's funny. Um, one on our website, I think it on when you look up prices, it's under size matters. It's we try and play that up, but people often ask, are the black ones bigger than the white ones? I mean, we hear it all. And by the way, they are not. So on a sweet nasty cake, they're exactly the same. But yeah, you have to know how many. I say, how many people are you feeding? And it's funny, in the age of COVID, they'll say to me 20, 30, 40, and I'm thinking, you're cheating. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
But we did a lot at the beginning of COVID. We did a lot of virtual, and so the one person, the bachelorette or the birthday girl, gets the cake or cupcakes, and I guess you share it through Zoom somehow. But now things, I'm not sure in your cities, in Detroit or Philadelphia, but here we're, they're being very careful, but people are still. I've been through a couple of recessions, and I always say, people in times of tough, people need to laugh. So it's the recessions have been a problem for me, and the COVID is not proving to be a problem either. So
Yeah, because everyone knows when you're going through your budget, the last thing you're going to pull out is erotic baked goods. Like that's just a
No,
given.
that has to stay in.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a top line item necessity. Are you
yeah,
kidding
that
me?
is true. That
Nudity
is
and
true.
cake. What
Yeah.
else is
Yeah,
there?
that's
But
right.
nudity,
That's
cake,
right.
dog food. Those are the most important
Yeah,
things.
that's true.
You mentioned chest hair and those sort of instructions. Obviously, being in business for 40 years, the trends in sort of in grooming have changed over the years. So how has your artistry had to evolve from, say, the Magnum PI 70s, 80s into the 80s Joy of Sex era to the far cleaner era? How's that had impacted your artistry with your cakes?
Yeah, that's a good question too. You two are good. We've done a lot of, like, we used to do high tops on the hairstyles and dreads
Yeah.
and then bald and facial hair. And I have noticed that, yes, the trend does change, and chest hair is not. It's too bad because they look good in chest hair the way we do it. But
I bet.
not going to look exactly like your groom or whatever, but we like to get some details if we can. But yeah, the only thing with vaginas is when they don't have hair, they look a little prepubescent. So we encourage hair on
Yeah.
vaginas. I don't know if I'm getting too detailed here. I mean, they
No.
have to
No,
look.
we love details.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay.
For whatever the shape is that you have on top of the cake. Sometimes it's a full
Mm.
body, sometimes it's just one body part. Do you have a mold for those, or are those hand sculpted for every cake?
Both. We have over 200 different molds. Some of them we have
Okay.
patents on. And like I said, we make all the chocolate, we carve it, we wrap it, because we also do, a bachelorette party isn't complete unless everybody goes home with a little penis pop. And, we have hundreds of different,
That's yep.
I see you're both nodding. But yeah, the chocolates are fun, they take them
Why
home
we
and we
started
use
the
them
show.
because yeah, I like edible stuff on the cake, not so much. Use a little bit of plastic, but the trends have, like, we do a lot of weed cakes now. There's not weed in the cake, but we do that's the weed cupcakes. That's become a very popular thing. Um, like, I take a cigar
Bet.
and I make it look like a blunt. I dip it in some oregano and frosting, and we roll oregano joints. And I become quite the joint roller. I could do them like, but we do a lot. That's very popular. Yeah, that's a very popular thing now, and I'm sure I've had people, smoke those joints. I had somebody say they got high as a kite. I was like, that's oregano, right?
What's your favorite thing to fashion? What's your favorite part to work on?
That's a good. I like. I mean, I like the body parts are easy because we do so many of them. But sometimes we do like we have a full woman with she has thigh high boots and a whip in her hand. You'll turn 30 and like it or else, that kind of thing. And so a little bit of S&M, because we can do, it's more, you can do we do eyebrows, eyelashes, lips. So that's a little more detail. And sometimes when I'm trying to think of an example, when we had an ear of corn sticking out of a vagina. And so we had to do the corn in fondant. I never understood. Obviously it's a private joke. They were hysterical. They were like, everyone will understand it. Somewhere along the way, this group came up with this craziness. So anytime that it's going to, that it's a private joke and you can make it work for them, that's always gratifying. Sometimes you want to know, sometimes you don't want to know. I very rarely say no to any request. But we had a Bart Simpson and his sister in an oral situation, and I felt that it was too close to agree to. So that was a definite no.
Yeah.
They brought a sketch. So there's some things that I think nothing's going to cross the line in Sweet Nasty. But I had a request for a swastika. Now I'm Jewish, so that was a real dilemma for me. I'm all about my First Amendment right to do this, but do I want to say no to somebody else's First Amendment right? So it can get, not to get heavy on you, but there's decisions that need to be made.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody knows fascist cakes do not taste good.
Yeah,
They're just not.
Yeah, it's baking 101.
Right.
Yeah. I also love that the fact that I feel like a lot of your, traditional Main Street USA erotic bakery just have something, to some inappropriate on the cake. You guys take it that extra step with fantastic wordplay.
Yes.
And I think that's sort of that extra gift to the customer that I think, it stands out. And I think it probably is a credit to why you have been around for 40 years.
I often ask myself, why have we been around for 40 years? I used to say, well, is this still funny? Is this still relevant? But as long as people wear clothes, it's funny. I said when I started, I thought students and gays, and it turned out we do get students and gays, but we get everybody. We get 40th birthday, 40 or bust. You're 50, be as cocky as you like. So it's funny. It's almost, I can compare it to liquor, like alcohol. What kind of product would appeal to all different age groups? Coming from all different backgrounds, inner city, suburbs, old, young, black, white, it's dirty cake. So,
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too, that there's always an occasion and it does appeal. It gives you a laugh. But yeah, as far as people will say, I say, what do you want to say in the cake? And they say, happy birthday, Luke. And I say, no. Well, what about, happy fucking birthday, Luke. Oh, they go, that's hysterical.
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
I don't think that they even have thought that there was another way to even, there wasn't even another thing you could say.
If you live in the Boston area and want to order all sorts of cakes, chocolates, and cupcakes, you can check out the Sweet and Nasty website, which is sweet-n-nasty.com.
You can follow us on all the various socials. Our website is whythepodcast.com and has all sorts of additional stories and videos. It's also where you can sign up for our newsletter. We're also on YouTube if you're into that kind of thing. And don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes, because if you don't, we'll call your mother and tell her that she's completely right. You would look so much prettier if you smiled more.
Why the Podcast is part of Mudhouse Media. Today's show was produced by myself and Heidi Hegquist. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing executive producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our graphic designer is Samantha Mustonen. The theme song was performed by the Electrosynth-O-Magnetic Polyphonic Orchestra. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?